here is that now we're going to talk on the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. So basically what we have here in Revelation 6, right? Now again, right, I believe that the first rider is Apollyon, right? I'm very convinced of that. I'll show you why. And it says here, and I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard as it were the noise of thunder, and one of the 4 beasts saying, come and see. And I saw, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow. Now, when we think about Apollyon, I know that Apollyon used a bow, right? But you'll notice that he wasn't given a bow. Maybe it's because it's part of his. Maybe it's because it's part of who he is. And it says here, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. Crown, kingship. What is Apollyon? The king of over the locusts, the beast from the bottomless pit. He is the 8th king. Right? Makes perfect sense. And he's conquering. What is it? It says here, and he goes forth conquering and to conquer. Right? So it's like he's going against countries. This is him working with the AntiChrist to go against the countries. Right? That's basically what's going on here. This is the main being of war. So he's basically conquering. He's not causing people to fight with each other, but he's actually going through and doing the conquering with the Antichrist, basically. And it says, so I believe that this rider is Apollo. The rider has a bow, just as Apollo has a bow. That causes plagues, and he wasn't given a bow. So the rider has to be the beast, the 8th king, the beast from the bottomless pit. And it says here in Revelation 6, so the second seal is war. And I believe that this is, and it says here, and of course when we read this, the horse was red, and it was given unto him, given, remember the word given thereon to take peace from the earth. And that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. Okay, so again, it's to do with, it's not, the horse is not, this horseman is not going against countries, but he's causing people to war with each other, senseless war. So I believe that this is Ares, the rider on the red horse, which is the god of, basically Ares, the Greek god Ares. In literature, Ares represents the violent and physical, untamed aspect of war. In art, Ares is usually represented wearing a helmet, a shield, and either a sword or a spear. Unsurprisingly, a few of them are flattering: the bane of mortals, the slayer of men, the city stormer, the armor clattering, the arm bearing. Since he was the savage god of senseless war, Ares was almost universally detested. Understandable. Well, this being is going to come back again, right? And he's going to cause the public to war against each other, countries to war against each other. This is all part of the Antichrist type of system, you see. And the third one is of famine. It says here, and when he opened the 3rd seal, I heard the beast say, come and see, and I beheld a black horse, and he that sat on a pair of balances in his hand. And I heard the voice in the midst of the 4 beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see that hurt not the oil and the wine. This is to do with famine. The rider on the black horse is that of famine. So Aethon, I found the Greek god Aethon. So I believe they're actually using Greek gods, and the reason why this is mainly because of the very last one that we're going to go into, which is death. Aethon was a Greek god of famine, right? And it makes sense because the Bible, in the New Testament, it was written in Greek anyway, so it makes sense for them to be talking on certain demonic beings that the Greeks had an interest in. The 4th seal, which is death, and when he opened the 4th seal, I heard the voice of the beast say, come and see. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him, and power was given unto them over the 4th part of the earth, to kill with sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. Now this god here, they actually give the name, it's actually Thanatos, the Greek god of death. Thanatos was the god of personified spirit, a demon of non-violent death, okay? Which means nothing physically as terribly has happened to them. They haven't been killed in war. They just die mysteriously. In the Bible, right, the Greek word for death, right, in Revelations is capitalized Thanatos. So it's not metaphor. It's actually talking about a literal being here. And you can look at this. You can look at the Greek, you know, for the New Testament on his name, and it is capitalized Thanatos, basically. So it's not talking about a thing, but it's actually talking about this being. Now we must look at the order of what is actually taking place here. We can mistakenly think that death and Hades, right, are doing a job separate from Apollyon and Ares and Aethon, but in reality, death is working with them all. They're actually working together with each other. Because it says here, and when the fourth seal, and when he opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the first beast, and I looked and behold a pale horse, and his name was Death, which is Thanatos, okay? And hell, which I believe to be the creatures of hell, right, followed with him, okay? So when it says Hades, it's not talking about the god Hades. It appears that it's mainly talking about the place, and it's like the creatures of hell are following with him. And power, the word actual of power is actually authority, which is the kingship status of Apollyon. How does he get his? How does death get? How does he have authority? How does death? He has authority because he's working with the beast, Apollyon. Kingship of Apollyon, okay, authority with the Antichrist, basically, was given unto them over the fourth part of the earth. So he has a power. He has authority over a fourth part of the earth. Right, so so this is what death and Hades actually has. The creatures of hell have, because of the Antichrist, basically. To kill with sword, okay. Now this part here, when you look at that, remember what the Greek god Ares has is a sword. A sword was given unto him. This is an Ares demon of war, and with hunger. Now this is to do with the Greek. What god is aspect of that is the Greek god Aethon. Right, with the balances, he's the one that causes the famine, right? And with death, right? Now of course when we read death here, it's not talking about death because obviously it says kill with sword, with hunger, etc. Okay, now obviously you're gonna experience death if you're being killed, right? But when it says death here, it's not talking about that. It's not talking about a physical killing. It's actually talking about non-violent death. That's why it says death here, which is Thanatos. That's his job, is of non-violent death. So people will just die mysteriously for no reason at all, basically. That's what it means. And with the beasts of the earth. Now it says here, beasts of the earth, right? Now when you look at the Canaanite language, earth can also be translated into netherworld, according to what I've learned from Michael Heiser. So even though it's been written in Greek, the thinking when it says here, beasts of the earth, is likely to be talking about beasts that are from hell that are on earth, basically, right? So Hades is a beast of hell, and just because hell and earth, through caves and things like that, they're connected to each other anyway. It's like hell is below in the earth. It's like so it's talking about creatures that are coming from that. So the fourth kingdom is using the four horsemen, basically, to cause havoc on the earth, basically. A fourth part of the earth. So if you're living in a country that's part of the fourth part of the earth, you might want to get out of that country, if it is that, if it is part of the fourth part of the earth. But anyway, that's all I have time for, and bye for now.